Good day. We are the group assigned to report the topic copper mining companies in the Philippines. So here is a short introduction about copper so that we can be all familiarized to copper as we go along to this report. First, copper is a soft, malleable, and ductile metal with very high thermal and electrical conductivity. Para mas maintindihan natin ang copper, ibibigay muna natin ng mga definition of terms. And first is ang malleable. Ano nga ba ang malleable? It is a metal that is able to be hammered or pressed permanently out of shape without breaking or cracking. Next naman ay ang ductile metal. Ductile metals are able to be drawn out into a thin wire. Lahat naman tayo familiar sa copper, sa pagiging wire niya, copper wires. And copper is a ductile metal because napo-form siya into wires. And also, ductile metals are able to be deformed without losing toughness and pliable siya. Ibig sabihin, napaplais siya like naisip natin yung copper wires, mabasa sa isip natin. Pwede naman din siyang maplais and it is not brittle, hindi siya nababasag. And next naman ay ang very high thermal conductivity. Ibig sabihin na to ay ito ang measure of its ability to conduct heat. Next naman ay ang electrical conductivity. Ano nga ba ang electrical conductivity? It is a measure of the ease at which an electric charge or heat can pass through a material. So nakita naman natin dito sa slideshow ang copper is a chemical element with the symbol Cu and atomic number 29. Bakit nga ba Cu? Why is copper Cu? Bakit hindi siya Co? Bakit siya Cu? Um, ang meaning niyan ay, ang Latin, ang copper ay cuprum, spelled as Cuprum. Kaya siya naging Cu dahil ang copper ay first na-obtain ng mga Romans sa island ng Cyprus, which is may Latin na language dati, and ang copper sa kanila ay naging cuprum. Kaya Cu ang kinuha, and it is believed that copper has been mined for 5,000 years. Sobrang tagal na niyang na-discover ng copper. Next naman, so dito na sa Philippines. The Philippines is one of the countries with vast amounts of mineral resources, including large reserves of metallic and non-metallic minerals such as gold, nickel, iron, copper, limestone, and marble. Napakadaming minerals talaga na makukuha dito sa Philippines. And among the metallic minerals, the largest reserve is copper. Sobrang yaman ng Philippines sa copper, which is estimated at 4 billion metric tons. Sobrang dami nun. Making the Philippines the fourth largest country in the world in terms of copper reserves. And there are 8 products in the Philippines that define the copper industry. Meron tayong 8 na main products na napoproduce dito sa Philippines na gawa sa copper. First these are copper and ore concentrates, unrefined copper anodes, refined copper and alloys which include cathodes, cast rods, bars and profiles, copper wires, alam natin yan ang copper wires, plates, sheets and strips, copper foil, and tube or pipe fittings.
The following table are the copper mining companies and its location in the Philippines. Carmen Copper Corporation, location, Pasay City, Manila. North Davao Mining Corporation, Makati, Manila. Rapu-Rapu Processing Incorporation, City of Legazpi of Albay. Binhay Simon Incorporated, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Minsandev Corporation, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Isla Philippines Mines and Development Corporation, Lupon, Davao Oriental. KMP Resources Incorporation, Pasig, Manila. Victory Ship Management and Trading Services Corporation, Las Piñas, Manila. Far Southeast Gold Resources Incorporation, Makati, Manila. Copper minerals are found throughout the Earth's crust. They occur in both sedimentary and igneous rocks. Sedimentary rocks, ito yung originate when particles settle out of water or air or by precipitation of minerals from water. Yung igneous rocks naman, ito yung mga magma or lava na lumamig na and nag-solidify. The outer 10 kilometer of the crust contains 33 grams of copper for every ton of rock, and in some places volcanic activity. Millions of years ago, deposited molten copper in one location. It is these areas which are mined today because they contain enough copper to make mining profitable. As well as the valuable copper, there is much waste rock called gang which has to be removed. Ito yung tsura niya. Yan yung gang.
Mining. The ore is removed from the ground in either open pit or underground mines. So, ano ba yung ore? So, yung ore, ito yung mineral na pinagmumulan ng copper through process. So, yun nga. So, pwede siyang nakukuha siya through underground mines or open pit mines. So, yung underground, yung paghuhukay ng malalim, pagkuha ng lupa sa ilalim, ganun. Then, yung open pit naman is yung paghukay ng malawak. Hindi siya yung bumubutas ng vertical pa ilalim sa earth crust, pero siya yung humuhukay lang sila ng malawak. So 90% daw of our mine is ginagamit is yung open pit method, hindi yung underground mines. So yun. So ores near the surface can be qualified after removal of the surface layer. So next. So, ito yung itsura ng ore. So, the ore. An ore is a rock that contains enough metal to make it worthwhile extracting. Then, ito, grinding. The ore is crushed then ground into powder.
Concentrating, the ore is enriched using a process called flotation. Unwanted materials called gongates sinks to the bottom and is removed. For concentrating, ito yung paraan kung saan mapipili kung ano yung nagko-contain ng mineral tulad ng gold, silver, or copper. Roasting. This is where the chemical reaction starts. The powdered enriched ore is heated in air between 500 degrees Celsius and 700 degrees Celsius to remove some sulfur and dry the ore, which is still a solid called calcine. For roasting, yung mga na-powdered o nadurog na ore, dito isasalang para initin, para matunaw. For smelting with a fluxes, a flux is a substance which is added to the ore to make it melt more easily. Para madaling matunaw yung ore, nag-a-add ng flux para matunaw. Solid calcine is heated to 1,200 degrees Celsius and melt. Some impurities are removed, forming yung pagka natunaw na siya, yung temperature na magiging 1,200 degrees Celsius. Anode casting. The blister is cast into anode for electrolysis. Electrolytic refining, the copper is purified to 99.9% by electrolysis. The production route described above shows the progression from a rock containing about 0.2 degrees Celsius copper to a copper cathode of 99.9% purity. Next is leaching. Leaching offers an alternative to copper mining. First, the ore is treated with dilute sulfuric acid. This trickles slowly down to the ore over a period of months, dissolving copper to form a weak solution of copper sulfate. The copper is then recovered by electrolysis. This process is known as SXEW, solvent extraction electrowinning.
The following are the copper industry major products: concentrates,
from minerals extraction, cathodes and blister from smelting and refining, rolled products, tubes, rods, and other semi-finished products from transportation, and wires and cables, harness, plating and foils for processing semi-finished products. There are 8 products in the Philippines that define the copper industry. These are the copper and ore concentrates, unrefined copper, and anodes. Refined coppers, alloys which includes cathodes, crossroads, bars, and profiles. Copper wires, plates, sheets, and strips. Copper foils and tubes or pipe fitting. Next. So, saan ba ginagamit ang copper wire? Copper wire ay ginagamit ito sa power generation, power transmission, power distribution, and telecommunication, and electronics circuitry, at sa mga iba pang mga equipment na related sa wirings. Yung copper wires ay ginagamit ito sa electrical contacts kasi yung copper wires ay dinadaluyan ng kuryente. So, yung pinakamalakas daw na industry na sinusuplayan ng copper ay yung mga buildings. Yan. So, copper tube. Saan ba ginagamit ang copper tube? Copper tube is used in many products at sa mga iba pang services gaya ng drinking water, home heating, traditional and radiant. So, gas, medical, gases, solar energy system, tile sprinklers, air conditioning system. So, bakit ba yung copper tube ay ginagamit kaysa sa steel tube? Kasi yung copper wire ay mas matibay siya kaysa sa bakal, tsaka hindi siya yung kinakalawang agad. So, yung copper tube daw ay yung requirements daw na ito ay nasubukan na. So, sa wide range, gaya ng wide range temperatures and pressures. So benefits. Copper. There is a high demand for copper products coming from the Philippines industry, particularly sa automotive mga parts, sa manufacturing, tsaka electronic production. So, yung ginagawa nila sa copper, ginagawa nilang coils. Sa automotive parts naman, utilize copper in automotive wires and harnesses. Sa industry, so ito pa yung mga industry na may connection sa metal fabrication. Gaya ng cutlery, hand tools, general hardware, metal containers. The manufacture of non-electrical machinery. So ito naman yun. Metal and woodworking machinery. So, and pump compressors, blowers, and air conditioners. Non-ferrous boundaries, and manufacturing of transport equipment and land transport services.
Benefits of copper mining in industry. From such vast reserves, the industry produces copper concentrates, cathodes, and wires. The production of such commodities is estimated to have contributed 9.74 billion pesos in 2011. Local demand for concentrates emanating from copper manufacturers is very high. The Philippine Associated Smelting and Refining Corporation, or PASAR, which is a key player in the copper industry, has an annual demand of 720,000 megatons, which is met through the importation of copper concentrates given that the local production of such inputs remains insufficient. The industry provides jobs for 7,300 Filipinos with PISAR employing 1,000 workers. So, yung benefits ng copper mining is napakalaki. Nakikita nyo naman 9.74 billion pesos yung na-contribute nila. Estimated contribute sa industry ng Pilipinas. Tapos 1,000 workers pa yung nagbigyan nila ng trabaho sa PASAR. Benefits.
Favorable economic conditions in the country and the region can serve as a catalyst for better prospects for the industry. The Philippines' impressive economic performance in recent years bodes well for the growth of manufacturing industries, including the copper industry. The recognition of this growth by international organizations and the series of investment ratings upgrades granted by international credit agencies further attest to the country's strong fundamental, which are foundation for industrial development.
Environmental impact. Environmental impact in air. Mining has a great effect on the quality of air, which constitutes an environmental issue because of greenhouse gases in effect. Methane is sometimes captured but only where economical feasible to do so. Some cooling plants may release ozone leaking substance, but the amount released is very small. And vegetate on uncapped tailings dams release dust, and when radioactive elements are found in the ore. Adjacent method. Heavy metals such as sulfur dioxide is filtered into the air by unsafe smelting operations, which insufficient safeguards. The gold mining industry is the one of the most destructive industries in the world because of all toxins that are released into the air as we and smog are also some sides effect of mining. Every year, 142 million tons of sulfur dioxide is emitted into the atmosphere due to smelting. That's 13% of total global emissions. Kasi nga pong environmental impact in the air. Kapwa si gagamit ka pa para makuha mo yung kailangan po magpasabog para makuha mo po yung ore o yung pintok. Environmental impact in land. Sa land naman po, kailangan po magpulo ng mga puno para mapag-build ka ng wool forests and destroyed mining involved moving large quantities of rocks and surface mining over abandoned lands impacts are events. Almost all the mines are of non-ferrous metals become waste a lot areas are pockmarked to thousands small holes rather than digging such waste minerals. The mining activities also may lead to erosions, which is dangerous for the land because it destroys river banks and changes how the river flows where it flows, batteries in etc. Toxins used in extractions of minerals, for example, poison, cyanides, and byproducts like mercury, can permanently pollute the land, which makes people not able to farm in certain places. And yung open pit mining naman leaves behind large craters that can be seen from outer space. Environmental impact in ecosystem damage. Halimbawa na lang po dito yung sa kagaya po ng sa lands, mawawalan po ng mga tirahan yung mga ibons. Then ganun din po sa deep sea mines. Our higher extent eliminate cheese rates, potential valuable organism. Mining destroys animals, habitats, and ecosystem. Kaya din po sinabi ko noong una. Pits that the mines create will have been home in some animals. Also, the activity that surrounds the mines, including people, movement, explosions, roads, constructions, transportation of the goods. Sounds made, etc. are harmful to the ecosystem and will change the way the animals have to live because they will have finds a new way to cope with the mine can live around it. Spills and the deadly substances has a very negative effect on animals and the ecosystem in general. And many of the toxins behaving that are discharged from the mines can disrupt and disturb the way animals live and their health. Mining can completely destroy ecosystems by adding or taking out something from the animals' everyday use, therefore throwing the whole thing out of balance.
Damage to local communities because of its environmental, social, and cultural costs. Allowing mining to operate puts extreme stress on the health, food security, and right to life and livelihood of the Filipinos who first live in the area. Displacement. Respiratory disease, loss of agriculture, and livelihood are just some of things local communities lose. Mining corporations. Promises made by mining companies to provide scholarships and provide livelihood to the affected people, especially with indigenous tribes, are more palliative in comparison to the massive environmental destruction and long-term negative health impact of unsustainable mining practices. Dito sa damage to local communities, pag naapektuhan yung mga malalapit na communities sa pinagmiminahan nila, ay maaari nila itong pagbayaran o tulungan yung mga naapektuhan ng pagmimina nila. Gaya ng mga indigenous tribes. Halimbawa, naapektuhan yun. Pwede nilang tulungan yun. Sa pag mo halimbawa, may nagkasakit, pwede nilang tulungan sa pagpapagamot. Conclusion. Copper mining provides many valuable products that can be used in advanced material applications including cobalt, molybdenum, uranium, selenium, tellurium, and rare earth elements, as well as silver, tungsten, gold, lead, and zinc. Mining material are needed to construct roads and hospitals, to build automobiles and houses, to make computers and satellites, to generate electricity, and to provide the many other goods and services to consumers enjoy. In addition, mining is economically important to producing regions and countries. Dito naman, sa copper provide maraming pwedeng gamitin product na makakatulong sa advanced material application kagaya ng cobalt, molybdenum, uranium, selenium, tellurium, rare earth element na pwedeng paggawa ng mga kalsada, hospital, building, mga bahay, computer, satellites. Recommendation. The way in which copper has been traditionally mined has resulted in the production of toxic waste products and negative changes to the immediate mine environment has had a huge negative impact on the environment, then resulting the inability to sustain life by the affected areas. We recommended lower impact mining techniques, reusing mining waste, eco-friendly equipment, rehabilitating mining sites, shutting down illegal mining, improve mining sustainability.